May your presence surround and fill us, so that in union with all creation, we might sing your praise and your love in our lives. Amen.
Some of you know me really well. Some of you have probably heard parts of this story, but I think none of you have heard all of it. I wanted to talk more about my personal faith formation. Our last two people that spoke talked more about, I think, the formation of this congregation. But I was baptized as a Lutheran as an infant, like many of you were, and one of my faith mentors was my father, who was a veterinarian, and he was a large animal veterinarian for the most part, and so was up very early in the morning and often not home until late at night. But I remember, even as a young child, he never left our house without doing a daily devotion. And he would sit in his chair, no matter how many emergencies had already called in, and took 10 minutes always to read a devotion. So my faith formed from the time I was this size until I was older. But a couple of things that I wanted to share with you, I thought about how God has always been by my side. But I thought that brought to mind another person and another form of that word that's used as a suffix and spelled a little differently, spelled C-I-D-E. And probably with the exception of maybe John Daly, none of you have had this experience in your life, but my cousin was murdered when I was the summer after my senior year in high school. And I remember going to the funeral. We didn't live in the same community, so we weren't, we didn't see them that often. But I remember the strength of my aunt and how she witnessed her faith. And through the strength of that whole ordeal, including, if I remember correctly, the suspect coming to their home for the after-funeral reception, and everyone knew who he was, and he was the suspect, and he wasn't welcomed into the home, but he was turned away graciously and with kindness. And I'll never forget the way my aunt treated him and continued to say prayers for him. He was never convicted, and it wasn't until after she passed away of breast cancer, actually it was just 3 or 4 years ago, that they learned through some testing, DNA testing, that her death was a result of a serial killer. But through that whole time, my aunt never lost her faith in God and was always strong. And that was a witness to me as a young person about how strong her faith in God was. And then I, of course, went to college, graduated, moved to South Florida, got a job. I worked in a pretty large engineering and land surveying and land planning firm, as I do here. And we had about 200 employees, but in my division or department, there were 7 or 8 of us. And so this is now about 12 years later, from when I was in high school, and came to work one day, and our administrative assistant for our department, who always greeted us with a smile and was always happy to be at work, wasn't there. And we learned the next day that she had been murdered by her husband. It was a murder-suicide. And I think, again, I know that everyone in that department had some sort of faith background. It wasn't necessarily Christian, some of them were Jewish, but it helped our whole department get through that experience, because we had God So, as many of you know, shortly thereafter, I was pregnant, married, happy, and my husband came home when I was about 5 or 6 months pregnant and told me that he didn't want to be married anymore. And it was kind of a shock because we had really been trying to have this baby and everything. And so, I started to pray right away. The shock, the reality didn't hit in. I think you go through stages of the same stages that people who are grieving for someone that passes away when you go through that process with a spouse. And so he moved out, and I was basically alone, and the only other person that really knew what was going on was my OB/GYN. And I was having a lot of trouble sleeping, and he prescribed phenobarbital to help me sleep. And this is the hard part, so I start crying. Please bear with me. But I was so despondent one evening that I contemplated suicide. And I sat for a long time with the bottle in my hand. I had the means, the bottle was full, and I remember saying one 2-word prayer, "Help me." That's all I said. And I immediately felt a presence in that room. I didn't see anything. The Spirit didn't manifest in physical form, but there was a presence in that room. And whatever that presence was made me stand up and take that bottle into the bathroom and flush the pills down the toilet. And I'll never forget that. And because of, I think, all of those experiences, I know that God is always with me. And I think the Bible tells us in many places that God is closest to us in those times when we are most fearful or in the greatest despair. And so that's what I want to share with you. And I really wanted to share this because I've mentored a lot of youth in this congregation, and I think it's really important for us as adults to share those faith stories and to be a mentor in our faith with young people like my aunt was for me, and my father was, and my coworkers, who all shared their faith stories with me. So I have a couple of Bible verses to share. The first ones are from Psalm 34, verse 17. When his people pray for help, he listens and rescues them from their troubles. The Lord is there to rescue all who are discouraged and have given up hope. The Lord's people may suffer a lot, but he will always bring them safely through. And the second one is from 1 Peter chapter 5. God cares for you, so turn all your worries